Sam Peckinpah and Ridley Scott maybe don't have a lot in common on the surface. One was a career drunk California hellraiser who used his editing bay like the machine guns by which he was so obsessed. The other is a meticulous and prodigious English stylist who never met a sunset he couldn't make into poetry or pervert. Both were incurably masculine in their image-making, fascinated by penetrative violence. Most importantly, they've both made movies that have been called the worst of all time. The Counselor and Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia are descents into a liquor-soaked, blood-caked nightmare world. A Miltonian land of torments, where the only law is misery, and the only certainty is losing your sense of self, and your mind, or, more accurately, your head. The older these directors got, the more they tried to reckon with the true hideousness of men, of creativity, of being capable of both love and hate, tenderness and violence. Scott, in particular, became driven to portray the world as a kind of hellscape in which the mortals walking around have yet to realize that they're being tortured. Scott never got the chance to direct his dream project, an adaptation of Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, so he settled for a crime thriller written by the author expressly for adaptation, called The Counselor. It's a sweaty speed freak study in the cruelty of foregone conclusions, of the ending of the movie just being a matter of gears grinding into place. The minute the plot starts, it's all over.
So what happened to the shipment?
I asked them that.
And?
They said, "Se fue."
It's gone.
Mm.
Jesus. Does his mother know? I guess she does. I need to call her.
Probably not a good idea.
Why?
She said she's going to have you killed.
Sweet Jesus.
Sorry about that. What can I get you to drink?
Hemlock.
I'm sorry.
I'll have an OJ and coffee. He'll be having the double Malox and a side of OxyContin. Just bring us the 2 coffees. And my OJ.
The same is true of Peckinpah's Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, the Sandinista of westerns. It could be based on some arch-forgotten paperback, as it plays like a drunk driving collision of McCarthy, Lawrence Block, and John Ford.
Sorry, Al. Sorry.
Based on the insane last original screenplay the hard-bitten director ever wrote, Alfredo Garcia isn't so much a coherent story as it is a chance to sit inside Peckinpah's damaged soul for an hour and a half and meet the voices in his head and the pain in his heart.
Ask me then. Ask me.
Will you marry me?
The Counselor is a deep dive into a pit of trash, a bath of sewage, acid, and blood, where the worst people on earth and the most innocent are killed and rewarded in equally unfair and sensuously depraved ways. A chain of horrific violence is put into motion when a wealthy lawyer wants to buy his wife a diamond.
I don't want to give her a diamond so big she'd be afraid to wear it.
She's probably more courageous than you imagine.
And so gets into bed with drug dealers. Before he knows it, everything has gone catastrophically awry, and everyone close to him, everyone even tangentially involved in the crime, is murdered. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia is about a kingpin who puts a hit out on the man who impregnated his daughter.
He was like a son to me. Por favor. $1,000,000 al que me traiga la cabeza de Alfredo Garcia.
He wants his head, and a host of thieves and vipers go looking for it, willing to murder anyone who gets in the way of the prized cranium.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Well, look, you see, we left here. We're trying to get to there. Now, where's the cutoff?
It's right here. But you're gonna have to take it.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to take it, I see. I see, well, thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Well, we found it. It's right here. We're gonna have to make our move now.
Both directors moved from their wheelhouse of period pieces into the present to show the cesspool of modern life, the unintended morass that resulted from hundreds of years of colonial raping and pillaging. Together they paint a twin portrait of agony not unlike blood meridians, of a world ruled by the devil, who tosses random frissons of pain and suffering into the lives of a whole host of unfortunate players.
Dead.
The need for money becomes the lunatic quest to collect a head and stay alive long enough to receive satisfaction. Countless lives are ended or ruined because the need for 1 cent more knows no boundary and no quarter.
And that's why I'd like to know why you don't. Take it! And tell me what the hit of Alfredo Garcia is worth. And to who, comprendo? Comprendo!
This is the man who will pay.
It's not shocking in the slightest that these Baroque horror stories of drifters on their way to damnation were received so poorly. They reveal untold depths about the powerful taking out their frustrations on the poor, the whims of kings at play turning life to ruin.
Do you love your wife so much, so completely, that you would exchange places with her upon the wheel? And I don't mean dying, because dying is easy.
Yes! Yes, damn you!
Well, that is good to hear, Counselor.
What are you saying? Are you saying this is a possibility?
No. It's impossible.
You said I was that man. At that crossing.
Yes. At the understanding that life is not going to take you back. You are the world you have created. And when you cease to exist, this world that you have created will also cease to exist.
These unspeakably beautiful confessions from a drunk poet and a wise but cynical painter may be terminal diagnoses for humanity, but by reaching into the guts of the human experience, showing the true look of loss.
Stay. Stay with him? God damn it. Stay with him. Go on, stay with him. Shit. Turn over, God damn it. Turn over and be in a right place.
The tear-stained, agonized face of regret. They at least show what we are capable of. This is how completely we can be hurt. Which means that this is how completely we can live.
God!